I hope you're all keeping well and safe during this COVID-19 quarantine. It has presented myself with a lot of opportunities to work on some pretty exciting things for the Armory Bible Game, which I'm going to share with you today. My encouragement to you is to use this time where you might be isolated at home with your family, to spend time with them, to open God's Word, to play the Armory Bible Game. That's what it's designed for. It's to be used in the home to teach the scriptures in a fun and unique way. We really want to develop a culture at the Armory Bible Game where parents are excited to teach the Bible and children are excited to learn the Bible, and that serious and in-depth Bible study can happen in a fun and unique way. And I often say that if you look at a child and maybe they're really excited about a particular video game or a particular game, they can tell you so much information about these games. So why can't we use the positive elements of gaming, which is really skill development and sort of repetition and learning, and why don't we use that and teach the Bible? So that's what we're hoping to do with the Armory Bible Game. Well, the first thing I want to show you is that we've introduced 2 new player roles to the Armory Bible Game. And that is the Archer, which we have here. Here's his gear, his armor, his kit. And we have the Prophet. Now the cool thing is the Armory Bible Game used to just be a 2-player game if you exclude the Game Master. So you'd have your Game Master, it's the person who sort of controls lots of things in the game and does the Bible trivia and questions and challenges and things like that. And then you have 2 players, you have the Warrior and the Bard. Well, now the Armory Bible Game is a 4-player game, so you can have the Archer, the Prophet, the Warrior and Bard all playing simultaneously, and that is really good for people who want to expand the game and add more friends, because as of this point you can only play as the Warrior or the Bard. Now we've got some more player roles so that more people can play and enjoy this game. So we can go through some of this gear. So this is the Archer's Holy Hood, this is the Humble Bow, the Jackalhide Jacket of Justice, Precision Pants of Purity, Archer's Fletched Face Finders, and then the Bashan Bone Boots. We have created a bigger box to fit all the new cards. So in order to add 2 more players, you need more attack, defense, and utility cards. You also need more boss cards. We'll come back to this in a second. And you also need more health point cards. So we've got a bigger box that can hold the old cards and the new cards. So you can hold all the cards in the current game, this is just the Archer and Prophet, which you can get on the website currently. And we've created a bigger box to hold both the Archer, Prophet, and everyone else. And within that box is some extra cards. So I've added these player turn orders. So this is helpful in sort of knowing so each player will get one of these. They'll know the sequence of turns and know who's going when. I've also added this turn order so people know that you first apply armor, do a Bible challenge, trade abilities, and pick up a boss card. So that'll be very helpful for players. It means the Game Master has to do a little bit less having to tell people every turn essentially, or it's your turn, now it's your turn. And so if the players have these cards, they know what's happening, and it kind of gives the Game Master a little bit less to do, which is good. I'm glad that that's now an addition to the game. Rightio, so the Prophet, here we go. We've got the Prophet Authenticator, because you can't have a prophet without a massive beard, right? Prophet's walking aid, so every prophet has to have a shepherd-like staff, like Moses. And then we have the rugged sackcloth shirt of hardships. So name a prophet that didn't suffer. So suffering comes hand in hand. So that's an homage to that. And then we have some prophet leather belt and camel hide combo, which is a reference to John the Baptist, Elijah as well. The prophet Psalm's sweaty shepherd sandals stink, so you can't show prophet says smelly feet. Right now, the Archer and Prophet is only available for our guild members. The reason is because it's because of our guild members that this has come about. They're the people who have financially backed this, so it's only available for them. This game has been shipped out to them the expansion with the box and these new player roles. However, it's going to take a little while to get to our guildies, so if you've ordered that, just be a little bit patient, simply because we have this COVID-19 outbreak and everything's sort of delayed. The manufacturer is delayed, postage is delayed. There's because a lot of people are at home, a lot of people have ordered more things, so there's all these factors that are putting a backlog, and factors which are out of my control, unfortunately. So it just means that there's going to be a delay in receiving those things. And also, if you were to go to the Armory now and purchase a game, there would be the same delay, the same problem. We've actually put I'll just show you here, put a little disclaimer. So if you go down, if you click this little box, it'll bring you down to the bottom. Put a little disclaimer here, just saying that that is something that you need to be aware of. So here is the guild page. So if you were to go on the front page, go to the guild, go to guild members, you can read up about what exactly the guild is. We've got some perks here for people. We have things we're currently working on in production, and the cool thing about the guild is that guildies can actually vote on what we work on next. And the project I'm about to show you was requested by guild members, and that's what I focused on and was able to get out. So it's something that's another perk. So if you want to see something specifically in the game or for us to work on, you have the ability to suggest it and also to vote on what we actually work on next. So we've just got some things here in production, and depending on what guildies want, we will work on those things. And here's some things that we've completed. You can check out those projects there because of our guildies, and a lot of those things that we've produced because of our guildies we've released for free. So if you go to our front page, let's go back to the front page here. So if you go down here to this book, you tap this, you can sign up for our email, and you'll get a download. One of those downloads is a pack that we created called the creation pack. I think what we call the 6-day creation pack or something like that. It's just a little game master pack which teaches 3 powerful arguments that prove that God created 6 literal 24-hour days in Genesis, which is really important when we talk about Bible interpretation and exegesis, understanding the scriptures. Genesis is a really important book to get right, and just 3 simple arguments that demonstrate that. So that's one thing, for example, that we've been able to work on because of the help of our guildies. And then if you scroll down to the bottom here, you see more free stuff. So just past the game, past all of this, more free stuff, and this is free for everyone. So you can go and download this now, and we have how to share the gospel with Jehovah's Witness, Roman Catholics, Muslim, and Mormon. So in all those packs, there's 3 arguments that you can learn that dismantle the particular heresies or the particular errors of those religions using the Bible. And it's presented in such a way to be used with the Armory Bible Game. Now, you don't have to have the Armory Bible Game to avail of the information in that. You can obviously just read it and use it and do it, maybe prepare a private Bible study. But they are designed to be used with the Armory Bible Game. Just make it a bit easier for you, for game masters, to prepare that information. So keep an eye out on that space, because we will continue to be adding more content to that as time goes on. So if you want to join the Armory Guild, and those are some of the things you'll be supporting. I need a drink. Look at this prancing pony. It's water, not ale. So yeah, before we get to the Accuser's Lair, I want to just explain a little bit what the guild is. The guild is a way where we've discussed some of the things that you can support. But the guild is a system where people pay a monthly fee and they actually pre-purchase products. So for in this case, a lot of people in the guild have been contributing monthly. So by the time we release a new product like the Accuser's Lair, or we release a new product like the Archer and Prophet, depending on how much people have contributed, I'll do a tally, see where people are, and we automatically send that content to those people. That content then gets added to our guild store, where new members can purchase if they haven't been contributing for long enough. Or for other guild members who maybe want another copy, they can purchase it. Right, without further ado, I want to now show you the Accuser's Lair. So I'm going to pause this background music. This is about a dragon, so it's a little bit scary. So if you've got small children, just keep that in mind, but it has to be scary because it's a dragon. Okay, here we go.
they dare enter my lair. They are ignorant. They are weak. I will break them. Never laugh at dragon.
So there you have it. So that was a lot of fun to work on, and you can watch that again if you like in your time. So essentially, the Accuser's Lair is a battle between your party and a dragon in an underground lair. It's quite challenging. We did a lot of play testing to make sure that the game was balanced, challenging, and felt very different than the boss that you fight in this game, which is just out of the box. This is like the standard box. You fight the terrible creature of disparage. So we wanted something that felt very different, but still had all the elements and things that we like about the Armory. So this has been a fun project. It was fun scripting that and adding all these effects to my voice and doing all that voice acting. And now I want to show you some of these cards that come in this deck. Right, so this is the face of the boss cards. You have the Accuser spitting some fire, and this is the boss card. So this is what the game master will read to players before they start the game to sort of set the mood, set the atmosphere, get players excited to play the Armory and to do some Bible challenges. So it says, the Accuser's Lair. You enter a dark underground chamber. There is warm and there are massive pillars holding the interior together. A giant, I can't speak. A gigantic eye opens and stares at you through the darkness. You dare enter my lair? You are ignorant. You are weak. I will break you. The Accuser lifts himself and retreats into the shadows. You see only rocks, rubble, and fallen heroes of old. You hear nothing but your breath. The chamber begins to quake. He is coming for you. This has been a fun project to work on. I really hope that you guys do enjoy this. Now, one unique thing about this, which is different from the standard boss that comes in the Armory Bible game, this expansion deck, is that we've introduced this mechanic called boss abilities. And this is a really good way because it allows players to set a difficulty for the boss. So the idea with the Armory Bible game, eventually we're going to be releasing more armor sets, more armor, different items. Some of them will be more powerful. So if you get very powerful armor and you can then play a boss, it might be too easy. Eventually, you'll just be too overpowered. So by having a scale of difficulty, you're always able to increment that difficulty so it still feels challenging, even if you get better armor. So it's something that we're going to be implementing in our future boss expansion decks and packs, as we're thinking about different armor sets that players will eventually get. And this is a feature that we probably will even introduce into the game as it is. We'll probably just do the Fierce Tentacled Creature of Disparage Part 2, and there'll be these boss abilities for players later in the future so that they can battle that boss and still feel the challenge. How the boss difficulty works is that in the game, there will be boss cards that state, actually I'll show you, show don't tell, as they say. So for instance, this one, Deadly Camouflage, says, the wicked flee, no man pursueth, the righteous are bold as a lion. The Accuser flees and magically blends into the dim surroundings. Remove 2 attack cards from the draw pile and place them on Blood and Scale. So if the player was to get this, let's go down here, they get an attack card, and they would place 2 of these attack cards on Blood and Scale. So we cover this one, and then we would place a second one here. And all the way up to the difficulty that we set. So the normal difficulty is at 6. So once 6 of these cards are placed on this, you then turn that card over, activating the boss ability. So here's the different difficulty levels. So the higher up you go, the easier it becomes. The lower you go, the more difficult it becomes. 6 is a good place to start. If you find that a bit too difficult, you can go up to the Whippersnapper difficulty. There's the Noob difficulty, and Do You Even Bible difficulty. As you go down in degrees of toughness, we have the Theological Thuggery difficulty, Whoa difficulty, Okay Show Offs difficulty, You Need Better Armor difficulty, and seriously don't try this. And seriously don't try that because one card will break the game. It would be far too difficult. You would never be able to complete it. So there's 3 abilities. Is make this full screen for you. Blood and Scales, Dragonfire, we have Flight, and Fury. May as well show you the back of Dragonfire. So here, once those 6 cards are placed on top of Dragonfire, they're then placed back into the challenge card pile, and this ability Dragonfire is activated. This is what it says. It says, out of his mouth go burning lamps and sparks of fire leap out. Job 41:19. A deep gurgle comes from within the accuser, bracing his surroundings with his claws. He snarls as he inhales. Smoke begins to loom from his nostrils. Behold, Dragonfire. So the player in which this ability activates on their turn, they will draw a Master's card. So depending on the card you draw, depends on the severity of that effect. It's a fun mechanic. It was very, very difficult to balance. I had to do so much play testing in order to balance. And this is actually what you're looking at. This game I have here, these illustrations and pictures here, and this is what these numbers are. This is what I use to play test the game. These numbers represent all the cards in the game, and because before I go to manufacturing it, I want to make sure everything works before I order it. So I try to replicate what it would be like having the physical card. So I use a random number generator to shuffle the cards. I then draw the cards, and then I put them in different piles. It's a very primitive and sort of arcane method of doing it, but it works. Sarah, my wife, has been a play tester as well, and many nights have gone into play testing us and making this the best we can for you, for your family. When you Guildies receive this, I'd love to hear your feedback, what you think of it, what you think is working, what you think isn't working, so as we move forward we can continue to make improvements, make this the best card game that we can. I've set this up in a way that I can play this over Skype, screen share, so you can look at the same screen that I'm looking at, and we have a little box and we can communicate. So I can play the Armory with you over Skype. So if any time during the COVID-19 outbreak you want to play the Armory Bible game, just message me on Facebook, on the page, leave a comment somewhere, contact us through the website, get in touch with us, and we can set that up, play through the Armory game with you for free. Be lots of fun. Might be a way to spend an afternoon or to spend a couple of hours playing through the game with me. I'd gladly do that, and it'd be my pleasure. So if that sounds like something that you'd like to do, you'd like to play the Armory Bible game with me, just contact me and through the website, or even leave a comment on this video, and we can organize something. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I don't mind staying up late and playing it if the time difference is so severe. So if you'd like to play the game, or you want to play test it or ask any questions while playing it, I can give you tips on how to run a game and how to be a game master and all these other things. So if that's something that interests you, do make sure to leave a comment in the description. Make sure to check out this page on the Armory Guild, and until then, I wish you the very best and hope that you turn your home into an armory. May God bless.